All right, welcome back, Powers on Sports Podcast. Appreciate you finding us. Our New Year's edition. Our leadoff hitter this week is JP Peterson, host of the JP Peterson Show, part of FanStream Sports. Does a great job weekdays here in the Tampa Bay area, 10 to 12. Check out, you can go to the FanStream Sports app. Check them out all over the place, Twitter, Facebook. Welcome in, JP.
Hey, Jason, what's up, buddy? Always good to be on with you. Love your show, man.
Appreciate you. Had a good holiday?
Yes. Took some time off last week. Got off the grid, which was nice, man. It's, doing what we do, you're locked in 24/7. You're always on Twitter and that stuff's always happening, right? So sometimes you just got to take a step away and just decompress. So it was great. But then, Sunday night I'm catching up on everything and it gets a little crazy. But yeah, it was a great holiday, good family time, good friends time, lots of good stuff. Hope your holiday was good as well.
It was great. I forgot to mention, JP also hosts Hockey Night, Lightning Hockey Night live at Amalie Arena for all the home games. So he's wearing his Lightning hat. If you're watching us on the video, he's just cooking a steak. He's eating a little dinner, cooking a steak.
Oh, dude, I just made I don't think you can see this, but I just made this great steak.
Compared to Burns, better than Burns.
Oh, so much better than Burns, bro. So much better than Burns. I mean, I love Burns. Don't get me wrong, but I cook it the way I like it. So,
What's your favorite steakhouse?
Burns. The atmosphere with Burns is fantastic. Meat Market's great. That's a great atmosphere as well. Charlie's is good. Those are the regulars, but yeah, all those places are really, really good. But I do enjoy cooking because I cook, I cook it the way I want to cook it. No matter how you order it in the restaurant, right? It's not going to be just like you want it.
Yeah.
So I know, and it's going to be like,
10 times more
$75 for a free steak. So, I enjoy cooking. It's kind of cathartic for me. So.
All right, we're gonna hit a couple college football topics, a couple NFL things, and a USF thing. What'd you think of the breaking news? We're recording this Tuesday night. Ed Reed named the head coach at Bethune-Cookman. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. I think it's great. These guys, Dion, Ed Reed, these guys are absolute heroes, to these young kids, and they're going to recruit their ass off. And it's all about the Jimmies and Joes. You can get the X's and O's. They can hire good coaches, but Ed Reed, my God, what a charismatic, great dude.
Yeah.
And these guys, I don't know if people realize, Dion's so flashy, prime. That dude, and no slides, no white beaters to class. You got to be on time. You got to work your ass off. They are strict disciplinarians, and I guarantee you Ed Reed's going to be the same, no bullshit type guy. They make men out of these young men. They don't. A lot of these young kids come in and they've got NFL dreams in their head, and they got 15 wristbands and all this crap going on. And these coaches are like, "Nah, you want to be a pro football player? Get your ass in the weight room and work. Let's go." So I think they're tremendous role models, and I think they're going to do well. And I love. Dion was only at Jackson State for a couple of years, and I know he got a lot of shit for leaving there after, professing all this, that he was going to be a cultural icon and selling Travis Hunter on, doing something that nobody else has done. And then he leaves. Of course, Travis Hunter's going with him. But, if they can give any light to these historically Black colleges and give their time and their expertise, I think it's fantastic. And I think Bethune-Cookman's going to kick ass. And I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. And I think it's the wave of the future, and it's not just because you played, I think it's got to be a little bit more than that. It's got to be a guy who's iconic that's going to be able to kind of do this. So I don't think there's, every former NFL player, going, because we've seen a lot of that, but it's these iconic guys that are now taking their time and their talents.
Yep.
I mean, they can, these guys can sign autographs and do TV the rest of their lives and make tons of money. They don't have to do this, but they're doing it to turn these kids' lives around. And hey, listen, everybody knows about me and Dion and USF, right? I mean, I'm happy to explain it to everybody. I put it out on Twitter there that USF and Dion had agreed to 90% of their contract. and it was moving forward. Said it wasn't done. I
Right,
said it wasn't done.
Absolutely, you didn't.
But I put it out there, and the bottom line is Deion played me. He played me to get more money out of Colorado.
Yeah,
and he did. And sometimes in this business you get played, but I was getting the information straight from the horse's mouth. I went to school with Deion. I've known Deion for 30 years, and he knew that I had a reach on Twitter, and that if I said it, people would believe it.
yeah.
And Colorado would step up with more money, and that's exactly what happened. So I kind of take it as a compliment.
It is
that he picked on me. It hurt my reputation. I get it. It's part of the business. If you're out there trying to break stories, this is going to happen. If you're sitting behind a microphone and never broke a story in your life, and you're criticizing me and everybody, get in the arena. Let's see you do something. Let's see you break a story.
It happens to Jay Glazer and Adam Schefter all the time. It happens to them too.
Yeah. And so, I'll say this, USF, I think they made a mistake. Now, I don't know the inner workings of USF, how much money they have, how much money they can get. I don't know any of that for Michael Kelly. So I can't in an educated way know the parameters that he was working with. Maybe they said, look, we're not going over 3 million. Maybe that was right. What came down from on high. And, he can only do what he can do. And they couldn't pay the 5 million. Now, the Colorado athletic director was asked where he's going to get the money. He's like, I don't know. We don't have the money, but we're going to do it. And I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work in Colorado. I think it might be a little rough in the first couple of years, but he'll get talent there and he'll win. And I think this is what USF should have done. They should have tried to find the money and pay Deion, because they would have been immediately relevant. That next night on Sunday, was a Monday Night Football game in Tampa. Right. Deion Sanders would have been on the freaking desk with his USF stuff on in front of the world saying, hey, yeah, come to USF. This is my stadium right here where the Bucs and Tom Brady are playing tonight. And you're off and running. Now, I support Alex Kalesh. I hope he does great. I support USF, and that's the man they went with. And, let's go. Let's ride. I'm all with it. But I'll just be on record as saying I think they should have done whatever they could to find the money to pay Deion and make themselves relevant. My opinion.
No, like I said, again, you got and you give yourself credit. Deion responded to you. He didn't have to respond to you. He could have said F you, JP, Don't worry about it. But another guy we both know, Trent Dilfer, going to my alma mater, UAB. I think that's going to be a good move. I think Trent's done a really good job. He's got so many connections in the NFL. I think he's going to do really good at UAB.
Oh, I think he's going to do tremendous. He is much, and he's not obviously as iconic as Ed Reed or Deion, but his time on ESPN, I think really made him more iconic. Because I think Trent Dilfer was one of the greatest football analysts there are. I think he's a tremendous mind. And I've known Trent since he played here at Florida with the Buccaneers.
Mid-90s.
And I wasn't working in this market at that particular time, but Casey Wells is a very good friend of mine.
Yep.
And I played golf with Trent and Casey a few times, so I got to know Trent a little bit. And then I covered him when I got here. And Trent was, he was very, very immature. Very immature when he was young, and of course had some tragedy happen to him. Sure. And I think he's grown into an incredible role model, an incredible man. And I think the same thing. I think he's going to teach these young kids a lot of great stuff, and I think he's going to win. And I think he's going to be a very successful major college coach. And, once he'll be at UAB for 2-3 years, and then he'll move on to the SEC or the ACC. And I think he's going to be tremendously successful.
I'm with you. All right, let's get to the college football playoff. We got the semifinals coming up on Saturday. TCU, Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State. Most people think, it's going to be Georgia, Michigan in the championship game. Right. Which of TCU and Ohio State has the best chance to pull an upset in your opinion?
I'd have to go with. I don't think either one of them really, but I'll nobody's beating Georgia. I don't see anybody beating Georgia, to be honest with you. So I think TCU has a puncher's chance. I think Max Duggan, whatever you want to call him, I think he's got a lion's heart and a championship heart. And that it's almost impossible to kill that kid. He is so freaking tough, so good. Yeah. I just love the way he plays. So I think I think they got a puncher's chance against Michigan. But they're just so good up front and so good in the run game. Physical. And they're just going to bully TCU. Yeah, they're so physical, and I love the way, Harbaugh's he's a nutball. He's a complete nutball, but man, he can coach him up. He can coach him up, and he coaches physical run football, which is rare in college football, right? I think that's why Michigan is so good.
Right.
Teams are not prepared for their size and their physicality in the run game, because most of these defenses now are what? They're built to stop the spread, because that's what 90% of college football is. So here comes Michigan with an eye back and, lead backs and, double tight ends, and they're big and they're physical and tough running backs. I mean, so I just don't think TCU can stand up to that kind of physicality. And, Georgia's just so freaking good. I mean, they lose one 5-star, and then look at the talent they lost in the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, unprecedented, the greatest draft in history, right, for a college team. And they're right back here where they were. And it's 4 or 5 straight years Kirby Smart had the number 1, 2, or 3 draft high school recruiting class.
Right.
And the thing that he does, and that Saban does as well, he develops that talent.
Yes.
He has the culture there. The kid he started playing late. Like 6'7", 280. I mean, it's just ridiculous how good they are.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. And again, I think Ohio State.
I'm having a little Wi-Fi issue here.
Yeah, you're okay. I can hear you. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Georgia's definitely the team to beat. I think the use of their tight ends. They have such quality tight ends that most teams don't have in that league, and I think they're going to bludgeon Ohio State with the tight ends, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. So, can you hear me?
Ohio State is soft. This is not like some of the teams that they've had in the past. These guys, I've heard it from a lot of people that are, very inside they get all the, the booster updates and stuff. And they just tell me about it. It's like CJ Stroud is just a prima donna, really good player, but he's a prima donna when he gets hit in the mouth. How's he going to respond? I just Ryan Day kind of runs a soft. I think Georgia would embarrass him.
All right, let's go to the Buccaneers. Buccaneers 7-8, struggling mightily to score points. They figure out a way to win in Arizona on Christmas night. You lots of critical comments all around the Bay Area and around the country about the play calling, the coaching. I know you've been you have had some questions about the coaching as well. Is there a chance if the Bucs don't make the playoffs that Todd Bowles is gone as the head coach?
Oh, absolutely. I love Todd as a human being, as a dad, as a defense coordinator. Guy is fantastic. I mean, he won the Super Bowl. You hold Patrick Mahomes to no touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And that's, 2 months after he torched you. I mean, Todd Bowles is a tremendous defensive coordinator. He's not a good head coach. He's just not, and I think doing both kind of hampers him a little bit.
Right.
He just doesn't manage games well. He doesn't have the he's just not aggressive enough for the modern day NFL in terms of when to go for it, when not to go for it, when to challenge, when not to challenge. I think, the offense is just, you can't go from 30 points a game to 17 points a game. I understand that you've got, it's different personnel. I understand that, but you got to find a way. And if Byron Leftwich is not getting it done, you got to make a move. You got to do something. And he just refuses to do something. He won't publicly criticize his players. I mean, he says he privately does it, but where's the proof of that? I mean, there's no accountability. His team constantly making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Their offensive game plans are the same every single week. Everybody knows what's coming. I mean, we had those mic'd up Ravens players, just laughing on the sideline going, it's the same plays. It's the same tendencies. We know everything that's happened. I mean, and they're still doing it. It's like, they haven't changed a thing. And I understand they're limited. This is where the Brady thing comes in. With Brady, there's no bootleg game. There's no RPO game really to speak of. No zone read game. Obviously, he doesn't run. You can't even move the pocket with him.
Right.
So you're limited to what you can really do. So for Brady to work, you got to have an excellent offensive line. The interior of the offensive line has to be able to allow him to step into throws, for him to be accurate. It's hard for him to throw off platform like these other guys, but they've done it. They did it. They won a Super Bowl. They won 13 games last year. But, when Jason Light didn't address the center position right from the beginning, I said it then, and I say it now, it was the biggest mistake of this season. He needed to go out and get somebody. I don't care how or who or what, but go get somebody who's played center in this league. And there were players available. There were players available. And he thought that he could go with Luke Gedeke and Hainsey. And he hasn't played poorly, but the entire offensive line is not, their numbers look good because, Brady gets rid of the ball in 2.1 seconds. I mean, I can have a 90% blocking grade if he's getting rid of the ball in 2.1 seconds. All I got to do is stand in the guy's way, right?
Right.
And I'm not diminishing these offensive players, but they're just not what they've had the last 2 years. They're just not. And they didn't do anything to address it. So that's on Jason Light. Byron Leftwich is a terrible offensive coordinator. There's something wrong with Brady in terms of his arm. He's not as accurate and not as good as he was the last 2 years. Right. He's missing throws. He never, ever, ever misses. I mean, look at that throw to Julio in the beginning of the game. I mean, my God, he was uncovered.
Easy.
And he just sailed it over his head by 5 yards. I mean, that's not Brady. And some of those deep passes, the deep pass to Scotty Miller. I mean, my God, the 2 picks. I mean, that's just not Tom Brady. He doesn't trust the routes at times. That's why he was late throwing to Evans. He had to wait till he made his break because Evans, route running this year has not been great. He's regressed a little bit, in my opinion. And obviously not having Gronk. And by the way, if Gronk calls you up and says he's thinking about playing,
make it happen. Make it happen.
Kidnap him. I don't care if he's literally send armed guards to his house.
Yes. And
pick him up and bring him in the facility and make him sign a contract. Has been dysfunctional from the very they're going to win on Sunday. I think the Panthers are going to bully them. I don't see how they stop the run. They're not physical enough at the point of attack. So
and people don't realize if the Bucs lose this game, they lose control of the division. I mean, Carolina wins out, they win the division.
Yeah, and Carolina's going to play the Saints.
Yes, week 18.
Week 18. You think the Saints have any feeling for the Bucs that they want to beat Carolina and let the Bucs get in the playoffs?
Right.
Hell no.
Right.
Hell no.
What do you think?
And if the Saints
go ahead. No, what is the future of Brady? What is your percentile of him returning to the Bucs?
0.
Okay. Even if the Bucs make wholesale changes with the staff and obviously the offensive personnel.
Yeah, I think he wants to play in Miami. He wanted to play in Miami last year. And look at Miami. Where would you, if you're Tom Brady and you had a choice, where would you play? I mean, Tyreek Hill, Jason Waddle, Gesicki, good running backs, pretty decent offensive line.
Decent defense.
Defense, it's good enough.
Right.
And it's Miami where your kids are.
Right.
Stephen Ross, that whole 9. Yeah, I think he's going to go to. If he's going to play, I think he'll play in Miami.
I'm with you. I don't think he's going to go out west because his son lives in New York and his kids live in Miami. I don't think he's going out west. All the San Francisco speculation in Vegas.
Plus, he got to beat out Brock Purdy.
Right.
Who's balling, bro?
He is.
Just beat his ass.
So. He is. There's no doubt. I mean, that will be absolutely. All right, give me a couple of who do you think? So give me a threat in the AFC and the NFC that are not one of the top 3 or 4 seeds, one of the wild card teams. Who do you like as a threat, AFC or NFC?
we had Sal Powell on my show today, and he's had his top 6 were, I want to get this right. Kansas City, Buffalo, Bengals in the AFC. And then in the NFC, Eagles, San Francisco, and Dallas. So those are his 6 teams. I hope I'm getting that right, who might win the Super Bowl. And I'm in complete agreement. I don't see anybody outside of that 6 stepping on. I don't trust Minnesota. They won 11 one-score games. Their point differential, I think, is +5.
Yeah.
And they're 12-3, which is crazy.
Right.
The Cowboys, I don't trust the Cowboys in the postseason, but I think they're talented enough to win the Super Bowl.
The Chargers with Herbert.
The Chargers, you would think they're talented and they're getting healthy. They're getting Bosa back.
Yep.
You see that hit by Derwin James? Jeez. Oh my God.
Right.
That was like, I was like, man, I think he might get suspended for a few games.
That would be a nice donation to charity.
Wow. That was like, okay, we don't do that anymore, Derwin. That's not the way we do it anymore.
Right.
Like, wow. I like that. I'm glad that dude got up because he might have been criminally charged for that thing. But the Chargers, maybe Herbert, man, since I first saw him when he played against the Bucs a couple of years ago in the season, and I saw him roll out to his left from about the 20-yard line, his own 20.
Through that post route, that 65-yard post route.
He almost threw it to the freaking end zone. I think it went from the 20 to the 5. Yeah. I'm like, and it didn't go like, woo, it went
bullet.
I mean, I've never seen a guy with an arm like that. And I think he's still learning the game, a little bit, but they're loaded at receiver. Their defense is coming out. Yeah, I mean, if there was one outside shot team, it would be the Chargers. Yeah.
I got you. All right, JP, appreciate the time, man. Awesome. Great job. Tell everybody where they can find all your great work online, FanStream Sports, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, just Google the JP Peterson Show. It'll take you to all our links. You can download our app, FanStream Sports, all one word, and you can listen to the show anytime. We don't keep your information or anything. Just tap that app, and you can listen to the show anytime, morning, noon, afternoon. It'll just recycle. You can also watch us on Twitter, watch us on YouTube. Just go to the JP Peterson Show. And we're also on Facebook as well. And we have a website, fanstreamsports.com, and you can get everything there as well. Every morning, 10 to 12, we're live, and then you can get the podcast on Apple and Spotify as well.
He's got guests from all over the country, all during the week, Sal Powell to TJ Reeves to you name it, whatever's going on. All right, last thing, I'll get you out of here. Give the fans an update on the stadium situation with the Rays. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, what people think might happen. Give me your best guess of where we're at today.
All right, so the St. Petersburg thing is anything but a done deal. Okay, everybody thinks it's a done deal because there were artist renderings and the Rays put in their plan. That still has to be approved. Major League Baseball. I know Major League Baseball does not want them in St. Petersburg. And I still think it's going to end up in Hillsborough County. I like the new Darryl Shaw prospect, new site right there by the aquarium. The marina, if you saw the renderings, it's a modern stadium. They're going to put all types of restaurants and bars and condos around it. So there's going to be a developer involved in it. I think, and I know Hillsborough County doesn't have as much money, but they have enough money. They have 300 to 400 million they can put in. And then, get the Rays to put in 300, 400 million, get the developer to put in 300, 400 million. The United States, it's being done in Miami. It got done in Texas. It got done in Atlanta. Right. It's not hard to do, folks. You just have to have an owner that's willing to do it. And right now, Major League Baseball is pushing Stu to get this thing done. They do not want it in St. Petersburg. That's why Manfred said it needs to be properly located. He said it needs to be properly located, which means not St. Petersburg. So, and we love St. Pete. It's just not the place for the baseball stadium.
All right, folks, if you're in the Amalie Arena, catch JP. He'll be your intermission entertainment, pregame, postgame. You'll see all JP on the score on the Jumbotron. He does great work with the Lightning. He does great work with his radio show every day. So appreciate the time, JP, and have a happy New Year.
Love your show, Jason. Appreciate you having me on anytime, buddy.
Maybe I'll see you at maybe see you at the ReliaQuest on Monday.
Yes.
You got it. Have a great week. See you, buddy.
See you, man. Sorry about the internet there. Hopefully
Hey,
you
no
can
problem,
edit that
man.
up. It won't be as bad.
Ain't no problem.
All right.
Nope.
Thanks,
Appreciate
partner.
the time, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. Thanks, man.
You got it.